Hi everyone. So here for my next update. It's day, I don't even know what update this is, but I've had 2 weeks of chemo, still feel great, still no symptoms, a little bit tired, but I do have 2 kids, so that kind of comes par with the course. But today I really want to talk to you about struggling and struggling as a Christian. So a lot of times, people say that, why does bad thing happens if we believe in God? Why do we get cancer? Why do people die? Why do we suffer? And so I want to talk about exactly what that suffering is as a Christian and how actually that suffering is good. So before this diagnosis, I was struggling in my faith. I grew up going to church, but as an adult, I'm getting to decide if I wanted to go to church, and also having kids, I stopped going. I had felt called going back to church. One, because I really want my kids to grow up in it and knowing that I need that community and those people, but was really just dragging my feet a lot, even though I feel like at times God was like, you need to go to this church, you need to go now. And I would go and then I would stop going. And he was probably kept like looking down at me going like, come on, Ashley, get with the game. So right before this diagnosis, I just had this thought that like, I don't need God. I've got this. I'm doing fine without him. I don't need him. And then God was like, yeah, you bet. Obviously, put me in the situation for me to struggle and learn that I need him, that I need him even in the good times, even in the bad, and that I was trying to control so much of my life and was really just what I feel like walking parallel to his plan for me. And maybe at times I would go like a little bit over to where his plan was, but then it's never really there. And so I feel like God like picked me up and dropped me into this path with this cancer diagnosis and was like, this is the plan that I have for you, and you're going to struggle and grow closer to me because of it. And so there is this verse out of the Bible in Romans again, talking about struggling and why struggling is so important as a Christian. So we're in Romans 5, verses 3, and it says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who's been given to us. So with that, saying that suffering produces that perseverance, produces that hope, and that suffering ultimately grows us closer to God. And a prime example of that is my tomato plants. So this year I decided that I was going to garden. I wasn't going to do a big garden, but decided that was too much of a commitment. And so did these tomato plants, strawberries. Strawberries have not fared well, but the tomato plants though, I can show you my tomato plants. So there's one, maybe. You can see a little bit my second one. So these tomato plants are thriving, but the thing that's cool about them is they weren't. They were struggling with the heat wave that we had a little while back and the random frost that we had. They were wilted and yellow, and I did not think they were going to make it. I pretty much given up hope in them because they were just really, 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 really bad. But then it started to rain, and it felt like it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. But it didn't. It did rain a lot. And through that rain, they just sucked up all that water and they grew. And now there's probably like 20 little tomatoes on both of these tomato plants, probably even more. There's a lot. But so the thing that's so cool about that is that if it had not been for that rain, if it not had been for that bad time, they would not be flourishing. Just like for us, if we don't go through that rain, then we're never going to get the chance to really shine and show our fruit. If I not go through this cancer, I can't show my fruit of love for God, for all the positivity, all of that. And so that rain is so important. Just like my tomatoes, I was struggling. I was wilted. I didn't think I was. I thought I was doing fine. But I was wilted. The rain has flourished me. And now here I am bearing my fruit for all of you guys. So next time you guys see the rain, just remember that there's a reason why God has put you here to struggle. And that struggling produces perseverance, produces hope in God. And that is a powerful thing. So until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.